Good morning, and I thought as for a change I would start right on time. I'm back home in Sacramento, and I've got a good night's sleep, and uh, and here I am. Here I am, and I'm going to share with you a few little tidbits. But this is a giant coffee mug with the beautiful Ordo Templi Orientis lemon on the front, and commemorating my 50th anniversary with the OTO. I I'm the first person ever to be in the OTO for 50 years, including Aleister Crowley. Constance has one too. It says commemorating Constance DuQuette because she was initiated just about 90 days, 60 days after I was. So anyway, it's just one of many treasures I'm bringing back from Portland, Oregon. William and I drove all the way from Portland to Sacramento yesterday. Uh, we stopped a lot, about 12 hours. So we got home safely. Constance cooked us up incredible. She makes this mung bean curry with potatoes. Oh God, it's so good. And cornbread. And her cornbread is like industrial strength cornbread. And actually, this had blueberries and stuff in it, and with sunflower seeds on the top and coated with, oh, good. It was a wonderful, perfect thing to welcome uh, weary travelers, weary travelers with. And I got something in the mail while I was gone. I got a lot of stuff in the mail while I was gone because I've been alerted that there is a pirated edition of the Tarot of Ceremonial Magic that is being sold on Amazon UK. Okay, the English Amazon. And I saw somebody doing like a tarot review from the UK, and they were using this deck. Now, it's this pirated deck. Okay, this is the here. This is, and you can see that it's a little tiny thing, but that's okay too. But this isn't particularly large as tarot decks go, so it's miniature in a way, and it doesn't contain the booklet that goes with it, and it doesn't contain the Tree of Life card itself, and it doesn't contain and it's just like a cigarette package, but it's very, very, very inexpensive. And to tell you the truth, uh, uh, the real deck is published by Magical Omaha. Okay. And I'm happy to say it's popular enough that it goes. Sometimes there's a lag between the two edition printings, but it's available. And the real one's available for about $40, $39.95 or something. And this is, I don't know, £5 or something like that. And a very, very reasonable price. And when I looked at the cards, they looked okay. Okay. And from a real life guttural point of view, I'm happy that this deck is out there for eternity. Okay. And ultimately, except for the almost saintly goodwill of real publishers, okay, in the United States, and the fact that I get my royalties off of the real deck, and I don't get any royalties off of the pirated decks. I'm happy for people to be using the deck and be learning from it, to be edified by by having the deck, and ultimately, years from now when I'm dead and buried, it's not going to matter. I'm just happy that I will be living on, even in pirated tarot decks. But I want to put this to you, especially my friends in the UK, that the this deck is particularly hard to get and is extra expensive to get shipped to the UK. At the moment, we don't have a UK distributor. It's hard for UK people to get this deck, and I want UK people to use and start working with the deck. So in that respect, I'm really happy they can get this inexpensive deck. But if you, to assuage your ill feelings or your reservations for buying a pirated deck, I have a way to make you feel better. How about anybody who gets it on Amazon UK and gets this pirated deck with all this kind of, it was pirated in China, okay? Feel free, and I'll get a kick out of it if you just PayPal me $20. It'll make you feel good. It'll make me feel good. You'll have an adequate tarot deck to use until you can reasonably get the full one, and I'll more or less get my royalties that way, and I'll get a kick out of it. And my PayPal is just the same as my email address, which is just lonmilo@gmail. So just go to PayPal and say, I got a pirated deck, and I want to give you your royalties. So if that makes you feel better, I guarantee it'll make me feel better too. But please, if you possibly can arrange it for your permanent collection, get the one from Magical Omaha, because that's the approved by the author edition. And you'll get all of the other goodies too, including the little booklet that Constance and I both worked on and such. So there. Well, Notocon was my 50th anniversary in the OTO, as we all say. And I am and have been for almost 20 years now the United States deputy, or the deputy national Grand Master, okay, of USA. And it's a position I'm very proud of. I love the OTO. I joined the OTO when there was only just a couple of the old ninth degree members. So I was in the OTO even before OTO Grand Lodge was formed. So I'm an old OTO fart. So I have a particular brand of my OTO patriotism, and I have sort of a unique position in the order, just by the caprice of the timing of my initiation into the order. And so I gave a little speech. Okay, they called it launch. Okay, I tried to hold this up to you in the car yesterday. Okay, the launch. Okay, because it happens when the entire gathering is gathered in a large banquet room, and they've just had their lunch, and then I'm the after dinner speaker. But look, it's even got their little lawn in my white suit. They really did it well, and they made a cake for me with a marzipan outline. And here it says, "Feast to celebrate 50 years in the OTO," and that was Notocon 15. Isn't that? I grabbed a whole. Well, I got at least 10 of these. Okay. Anyway, I thought, well, it's still fresh in my mind and everything else. And because there are many OTO members all around the world that didn't get a chance to come, the people in foreign countries who are frankly reticent to come to the United States with the current, what I consider the troubles. We're starting to have troubles here. And even the Canadians are our dear brothers and sisters in Canada, which was a substantial number, didn't come because of the hassles they get at the border. And so for all of you that who are OTO members that couldn't make it to launch, and for everybody else that's just more or less Crowley curious and everything else, I didn't say anything secret in my talk, and I'm not going to read you my whole talk. But I do want to read you a little excerpt. Now, I had a PowerPoint presentation in the background going that I spent absolutely too many hours putting together. And some of them had little gags and things like that, because I just can't do something without getting vulgar and stuff like that, you know. And so, and I'm unable to share that part with you, but here's what I said, and we're talking about a banquet room full of about 220 people. Okay, and at first I give acknowledgments to everybody and thank everybody, and I talk about OTO anniversaries that because it was let's see, I think it was the 40th. Let's see, it was the 40th anniversary of the passing away of Grady McMurtry, our first caliph for Frater Superior, who literally resurrected the order. And it's also the 40th anniversary of the installation and the election of Jimenez Beta, the current Frater Superior. And coming up on November 9th, it'll be Constance and I's 58th wedding anniversary. And I paused at that one and said, I said, this November 9th will mark the 58th wedding anniversary of these two kids, and I got a picture of us. I'll wait for a round of sympathetic applause. Also on November 15th of this year, and then I had a little drum roll on my camera, a little, okay. So I'll celebrate, or at least I'll be observing my 50th anniversary as an initiate member of the OTO. On November 15th, about a month after what would have been Crowley's 100th birthday, I got my Minerval. That gives me the bittersweet distinction of being an active member of the OTO longer than any other person ever. I've achieved this landmark by the magical act of breathing continually for 50 years. And I said Constance follows close behind. And I asked if there was any new Minervals. Minerval is the 0 degree, the first entry initiation into the OTO. And I asked if there's any new Minervals, and there were lots of them. Okay, there was lots of hands went up. And I told them, I want you to look around. This is a golden moment in the life of the OTO. And well, it was. This is a golden moment in the life of Thelema. This is a golden moment at the dawn of the aeon of the crowned and conquering child. And that was the theme of the event, the crowned and conquering child. And you are here. I want you to think about something. I want everybody to think about something. 50 years from today, and I have a little chart up with a timeline in photos with the years and everything, and it's marked off in 50-year increments. 50 years from today, 2075, a half a century from now, it'll be Aleister Crowley's 200th birthday. It'll probably seem like a crazy long time from now, doesn't it? It sounds so science fiction-y. 2075, okay. But I tell you, 50 years is a blink of an eye. Most of us in this room who are over 50 years old will confess that we're still trying to figure out what we want to be when we grow up. You can jam a lot of history into 50 years. You can squeeze the birth of radio, talking pictures, most of World War I, the Great Depression, World War II, the birth of television, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the moon landing in 50 years. The world was a dramatically different place just 50 years ago. No AI, no cell phones, no personal computers or Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or X or Uber or ATMs or PayPal. Lots and lots of people smoked. And the OTO existed pretty much in the minds of a tiny handful of old Crowley contemporaries. In those 50 years, I've seen amazing growth and changes, both to the order and to Thelema as a worldwide movement. Crowley's now an iconic pop star. Even Boleskine House, burnt down and shattered, is being restored and back in friendly Thelemic arms and a recognized Scottish national treasure. Yes, a lot can happen in 50 years. It was only 50 years before my Minerval that Aleister Crowley was elected world head of the OTO. And I've got pictures of marked off in 50 years and stuff. It was only 50 years before I was born that young Aleister Crowley was initiated into the Golden Dawn. And I got a picture of me as a baby, okay? And I said, yes, that's baby Babylon, okay? Think about this. It was only 10 years before I was born that Adolf Hitler, the democratically elected leader of a modern, industrialized, and seemingly civilized nation, outlawed the OTO, along with Freemasons, socialists, labor unions, disenfranchised, deported, detained, and exterminated millions of human beings, including Jews, homosexuals, gypsies, and dare I say, scholars and independent thinkers just like you and me, and plunged the world into a catastrophic world war. Yes, a lot can happen in a few short years. And initiatory secret societies are very fragile things. They can be, and often are, inconvenienced, interrupted, banned, bowdlerized, outlawed, and destroyed by social and geopolitical events and the whims of madmen and their minions and one's own misguided fellow citizens. I don't pretend to see the future. Do you think I'm a tarot reader or something? Nor do I wish to sound like a prophet of doom. But I believe there's a real, at least, possibility that 50 years from now, those of us in this room who are still alive will be wending our way through an even wilder and crazier world, dealing with a way of life that's unimaginable to us today. A way of life that will likely oblige us to carry on our great work while engaged in a perpetual background meditation of extreme weather events and social instability. And I found pictures from Mad Max, okay? I mean, really kind of fun pictures from the Mad Max movies. Perhaps an AI-monitored life of robotic surveillance made even more unpleasant by a mishmash of plagues, famine, and Mad Max barbarity. And then I've got a teacher that an OTO group gave me a black t-shirt, and it just says, "Fear nothing, fear nothing, fear nothing." And I got a picture of me doing that. And then I said, or maybe not. Come what may, I sort of agree with the philosopher Antonio Gramsci, who said, "I practice the pessimism of the mind and the optimism of the will." I practice the pessimism of the mind and the optimism of the will. Look, I'm not suggesting this has to be the near future of our planet. Indeed, I sincerely hope it won't be. But I think it'd be unwise for us to ignore at least the possibility that our order, and I speak for everybody who's in any kind of a esoteric organization, I believe it would be unwise for us to ignore at least the possibility that our order in the near or distant future need to execute our great initiatory mission under more difficult circumstances than we currently enjoy. And I said, when I use the word enjoy, I mean it. Like I said, in many important respects, we're currently living in the golden age of magical thought and magical orders. So, What exactly is our mission? As members of the U.S. Grand Lodge, and this is where I get kind of specific here, we have a mission statement. You can go to the OTO USA.org website. You can see what the OTO's mission is. Okay. Quote, our mission is to affect and promote the doctrines and practices of the philosophical and religious system known as Thelema, with particular emphasis on cultivating the ideals of individual liberty, self-discipline, self-knowledge, and universal brotherhood. And I had that part highlighted. And it continues. To this end, we conduct sacramental and initiatory rites, offer guidance and instruction to our members, organize social events, and engage in educational and community service activities at locations throughout the United States. Unquote. Notice that I've emphasized the section that says, with particular emphasis on cultivating the ideals of individual liberty, self-discipline, self-knowledge, and universal brotherhood. Here, I believe, is the core of our prime directive as OTO initiates, to be living examples of self-aware, disciplined human beings who are committed to the ideals of liberty, of the liberty of each individual, and the universal brotherhood of humanity. These are virtues of character. They are things we must be, and not things to be done. These are virtues of character we embody, demonstrate, and share with the world by the simple act of possessing them. What I'm observing right now here in the United States is very disturbing. In particular, the rise of what is being sold as Christian nationalism. It's even freaking out Christians. What would we do if suddenly all non-Christian or non-traditional religious organizations were to come under hostile official scrutiny or even become overtly persecuted? If suddenly it became unwise, perhaps even dangerous, to safely maintain our lovely public lodge and temple facilities in order to fulfill our mission of holding social events and engaging in educational and community service activities. What then shall we do then? And then I go on to give some suggestions, more or less specifically aimed at the organization of Ordo Templi Orientis. Anyway, I thought I'd share at least that much with you today. Constance has single-handedly, with only a few little pointing of my fingers, because if I tried to help too much, I'd only screw stuff up, has unpacked my chaotic luggage and is trying to bring some semblance of order back to the house. I'm sure she truly appreciated 4.5 days of avoiding the radiation burns from my aura. But anyway, it is good to be back home. Usually we have a parking lot Tuesday, but things are so, I'm exhausted and things are so crazy that it'll be tomorrow. Constance and I will both be hopefully visiting with you tomorrow from probably parking lot number 2. Anyway, until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.